How you doing, Steve?
Good. John, how are you today?
If you could just tell me a little bit about Bill and the effect that the film had on your family.
Well, I think, all these years later, it's been 16 years since Bill passed away, and we're just amazed at all the continued interest in him. He's touched people all over the world, and every day we get emails from people from all over the world just telling us how much Bill meant to them, and it's all very moving and very touching. And Matt and Paul came into our lives, the filmmakers, Matt Harlock and Paul Thomas, came into our lives about 4 or 5 years ago. Matt used to do tribute nights to Bill over in London, and through that he got in touch with my mother and father, and they just seemed like the right people to do this, because their motivation for doing it was just to get Bill's story out there. It wasn't monetary. They weren't trying to put a feather in their cap or anything like that. They just thought it was a story worth telling. So over these last 4 years, we've gotten to know them, and we've gotten to know their family, and they're just really good guys. So we're real proud to be here supporting the documentary that they made, and we like what they've done with it, and I think they're telling they tell a real good story, and hitting all the highlights in there, and so we're here proud to be a part of it and support Matt and Paul. So.
Bill, to this day, is still such an iconic stand-up comedian, and so many stand-up comedians of today have drawn major inspiration from him. Like Russell Brand is very, very vocal about his love for Bill Hicks, and I don't know if you've read his book, Russell Brand's.
Not yet.
Bill is everywhere.
Everywhere in it. Yeah.
He's probably on every other page.
Right.
How far do you think that inspiration goes?
Well, we hear from people now that are 18, 19 years old, so I think it just keeps spanning generations, and I think it's why the legacy just keeps growing bigger and bigger, because it knows no bounds, it just keeps. And I just got an email while we were sitting here today from someone in Los Angeles about a project or whatever, but anyway, just listing all the other current comedians that are so influenced by Bill, and it's just amazing. I mean, how he shows up everywhere with everybody. I have him listed as a Google alert, so every day when he's mentioned somewhere out there on the internet, it comes to my email, and it's just amazing all the places that he still continues to show up, and the people that are influenced by him. So, it kind of looks like it might go on forever, as the other generations come along. So.
Yeah, like you said, young people are show interest in Bill Hicks. I'm 21. I love Bill Hicks too.
Right.
Just from hearing about him from other people.
Right.
Because that's how stand-up gets around. Word of mouth and people spread it.
Right. Exactly.
And I agree. I think that Bill Hicks is a comedian that will be remembered through comedy history.
Well, every once in a while, even we will get an email from someone asking us for his address, because they're just discovering him for the first time and don't realize he's passed away, because his material is still so current and can be, and they'll ask us for his address so they can write him, and then we'll have to tell them. And that, I think that speaks to the timelessness of the type of material that he did. He really had a way of speaking to and tapping into things that kind of will go on out there in the world forever, I guess, because they're still very relevant. So
now that the film's done and completed and showing, how do you guys are obviously here to support it? Like, how proud of it are you guys?
Oh, we love it. It seems to get overwhelmingly positive response. I don't think everyone loves it, but not everyone's going to love everything, and that's fine. But overwhelmingly positive response, and it's neat to be in the audiences. And we usually do some Q&A after the shows, and the people are very touched and very moved, and we've traveled to London for the world premiere over there, and I met Matt and Paul 2 weeks ago in Columbia, Missouri for another showing there. Now here we are in Austin, so wherever we can be and lend our support to those two guys and to the film, we're happy to do it, because we're real proud of it all.